Hey, this is Professor Homa. The last part of this wine glass is to make it actually look like glass. Because right now, if I rendered it, if I went in here, and again, I'll choose my camera in my outliner. There's my camera. Choose the movie camera thing, and then move the Y up a little bit so I can see it. If I rendered it right now, if I went render image, you can see it just looks like clay right now. So I want to make that look like glass. Now keep in mind, it's going to look more like glass when you get it into an environment with a wood grain floor and tiles. It's the reflection around it that really makes it look like glass. When it's just floating in space, it may just look kind of clear and may not look like anything yet. And again, keep in mind there's a lot of different ways to make a glass look, and it's kind of challenging. There's a lot of little settings to mess with, and a lot of it depends on what's around it. So anyway, I'm just going to use the settings I gave you on the sheet. After we smoothed it and we did the subdivision surface, I'm going to give it a new material. So I'm not going to use a texture. I'm just going to go over to materials. So let me go back into 3D view. I'll select my wine glass, and I'll hold down here and go over to materials, and I'll hit new, and right away I can name it. I could just call it glass, because maybe I may want to use that in the future or to other objects. So there's my glass material. Now I didn't do anything with it yet, and all that I'm going to change on here is I'm going to go down to specular. Now I'll turn off diffuse and I'll go down to specular. Here's specular. And the settings I'm going to put in here for intensity for specular is going to be, here's intensity, and I'll drag this out so you can see a little better. And I'll just click once here and just put in a 1. Alright, intensity of 1. Then I'm going to put in a hardness of 473. Don't ask, just put in a hardness. Click here, and I'll put 473. Okay, and then I'm also going to do an ambient of 0.55, and ambient is down here. Click here and do 0.55, and also transparency, I have to move down to transparency, which is down here. Here's transparency, and I'll check transparency, and I'm going to check ray trace over here, and I'm going to put in Fresnel of 5. It's right here, Fresnel. I'm going to put in 5. And then I'll put a IOR, which is right here, IOR of 1.55. And then also there's mirror, and I don't know if we really need mirror. It may not have a big effect, but I'm going to put for mirror, I'm going to put reflectivity of 0.1, which isn't a lot. We don't want it to look like, mirror sunglasses. And here's Fresnel, but we do want a reflection. Here's Fresnel of here, and I'll put in 5 in here. Click that again, 5. Okay, so those are my settings for now. Now, we'll see what it looks like. If you scroll up here, you can see there's that glass look, and I'll render it now. I'm not even sure what it's going to look like. It's not going to look real glassy because I just have that gray background. But once you get it in a scene with other shapes around it, and you adjust your light, it is going to look more glassy. So it's not a bad look to begin with. You can see it disappears a little here, but that's the glass setting. So that's all we'll do for now. We'll do more in class with working with that, working with the fruit and other parts of that scene. But that's the glass texture or the glass material. I shouldn't really call it a texture because it's a material on the glass. So I'll stop there.